Hello everyone, Joey Rios here, coming to you with another video, and today I'm at my family's lake house, and right now in my hand, currently recording this video, is the Moto Z3. Now this is the Verizon exclusive Moto Z3 Play, sort of, with a few more enhancements and some goodies that might come later. Let's check it out. Alright, as I said in my unboxing video, I'll put like right up here, this is the Z3 Play for Verizon, with a few tweaks, with a few bumps. This now has the 835, and has a better cameras on the back, and that's pretty much the only physical changes we're going to have to this device, because other than that it is pretty much identical on the outside. The build is still good. I like how the feel is in hand, but it feels even better in hand with one of these style backs on, because it kind of fills out your hand. It doesn't feel as hollow, because like with how flat the back is, it kind of could feel hollow, but the feel in hand with that back is actually one of my favorite things about the phone. The phone is a good size for the screen, and I haven't had any problems using it. The screen is actually really nice. It's a 1080p, you know, 18:9 aspect ratio panel, but it's a very nice panel. Fingerprint sensor is right over here, and the power button's over here, so I use it in my left hand. Power button's there, and I use the fingerprint sensor to open it up right there. It has worked pretty good. It took a little getting used to the fingerprint sensor, but you can use it on either side with this, with your thumb over here, your index finger over here. It works rather well, and even in with my wet hands at some points, it has actually performed rather well. Volume button's over here, SIM tray with SD card slot up there, USB Type-C connector. Now there's one speaker on the front, is your earpiece and your only speaker on the device, but at least it is front facing. It's not the most powerful speaker. I haven't had too much problem with it, but it's not the greatest. But this phone is only $480, which is one of its biggest draws. We flip it over to the back here. We have our dual 12 megapixel cameras. One's a monochrome, one's a regular f2.0 aperture lens. The camera is okay. That's what I shot. The beginning of this video was in 4K, 30 frames a second with this camera, and I'm going to show some other camera samples right now. But as I said before, this is pretty much a Moto Z3 Play. It is a mid-range device. No two ways about it. It is not a flagship device. It has last year's processor, only 4 gigs of RAM, and it has 64 gigs of storage, which is pretty good, but it has an SD card slot to augment that. But it does feel like last year's device that they're selling at a cheaper price, which is what exactly this is, because really what this phone is all about, it's supposed to be about the new 5G mod that we don't even know exactly when it's coming. I'll show you right here. I was down there at Motorola's headquarters. This is the 5G mod. It's pretty thick and pretty large, but this is what Verizon is banking on, that you're going to buy this phone and then get the mod and use 5G. I was speaking to people. It said pretty much the consensus is you're going to use it as like a 5G hotspot for the most part, because you wouldn't keep this on the back of the phone because this is thin. But the 5G mod is super, super thick, so we'll see how that goes. Now, like I said, this may be just a rehashing of the Moto Z3 Play for Verizon, but at least it brought over one of my favorite features, which is this gesture navigation. Now, this right here, you go left for back, right for recents, press and hold to get into the Google Assistant. There you go. But you swipe up to get into your apps, and it seems to be my favorite way to actually use gesture navigation out of all the phones I've used, including the new Pixel, which is kind of like weird with a arrow over here for back instead of just swiping left for back. I don't know why they're not doing that, but Motorola definitely wins for that. If you're already a Motorola fan, you know you have all your gestures. Your twist to go to the camera is my favorite one. The chop to put on the light, it's all still there. Chop to turn it off. All that stuff is still there. So if you're a Moto fan, if you already know, this is one of the phones you should get. I will give Motorola credit though, because they did stand by their promise. This is the 3rd generation of the Z line, and it's the 3rd generation to use the same exact layout for their mods. So you can use any mod from any of the phones previously on this phone. For 3 years, they kept the same thing, and they've actually iterated on design. They've added the 18:9 screen, but they've still been able to keep the back. So kudos to you, Motorola. Alright, so that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed my review of the Moto Z3 for Verizon. As I said before, this phone has some of last year's specs, pretty much the flagship last year's specs. It is kind of cheap at $480 from Verizon, but with the real secret sauce is going to be that new Moto Mod that comes in about 6 months. Until then, I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's really good for the price. I like the design. I like the fingerprint on the side. But it's up to you. Let me know in the comments how you like it. This is Joey Riz. See you later.